our Learn Out Loud sessions are really just, members of our community who want to share stuff. And I wanted Sabrina to share because I use Blotato. I am blown away by what I'm using, and I'm only using like not even half of it. So I wanted to get Sabrina here, who is the founder of Blotato, to come and show you more than I ever could. And I'm so glad that you're all here. So I will say, take it away, Sabrina.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to share my screen here. And I figured I'd walk through two of the major flows in Blotato, which is generating text content, number one, and then generating faceless videos. And you can do all of that within the app. So I kind of designed it to be, for me personally, my all-in-one content creation tool, since I'm posting text, image, and video, all kinds of media across all the different platforms. So if you are already familiar with just like signing up and stuff, this is your primary screen called Remix. And originally my very initial use case was just repurposing my own content. So for example, let's take like one of my YouTube videos I recently did, make viral POV videos, grab the link, add it as a source here. Okay, and then Blotato is going to pull the transcripts from that YouTube video, which you can see over here. And then this helps me instantly repurpose it into like a newsletter or multiple social media posts. So for example, let's say we want to create a LinkedIn post, maybe a Facebook post, and like a TikTok video script. Okay, so then you just click generate post. If you wanted to use a different model, you can choose it from up here. We have Claude, ChatGPT 4.0 latest, and ChatGPT 0.3 mini for more technical content. And then Blotato just kind of goes down the list. It takes the transcript from my own YouTube video and then generates a LinkedIn post, a Facebook post, and a TikTok post. The default prompt that it uses to generate the initial draft is trained on a viral post from each of these platforms. So here's kind of LinkedIn, here's Facebook, emojis still great on Facebook, and here's TikTok, kind of like a listicle format, which I commonly do on TikTok. And this is just the first draft, right? So like, let's say you don't like this draft or you want to rewrite something. Hang on, let me change my Google Meet screen here. So on the bottom right here is kind of this AI writing assistant where you can ask it to like brainstorm ideas, similar to ChatGPT Canvas. That's kind of how it's laid out. So you're working on your main draft here, but you still have this AI writing assistant over here. And it's connected to the internet as well. So if I want to research, let's say this YouTube video is about making faceless videos, research like viral faceless video trends or something. So it will know here because it's searching the internet. This is like a brainstorming type of question, but I could also prompt it and say, hey, can you update this to have like more bullet points? For example, for LinkedIn, you might want more readability. So like having a lot of bullet points is a common kind of format on LinkedIn. So here's kind of its answer here. You can use a different prompt. So for LinkedIn, like one of my favorites is 3 listicles, because again, you get that really nice format. And this is like the prompt itself, which you can fully change, right? You have full control over all of this, and it's just preloaded with a viral example, but you can put your own examples or examples of other viral content that you like, that you resonate with, and that's your style. So now if I click generate, Blotato is going to take that prompt and use it to generate a second draft. And similar to ChatGPT Canvas, you'll always have like all the different copies, right? So this is the first version, the second version. Let's say here, I want to edit it like there are too many steps, reduce it to 3 steps total, like some kind of edit like that. And then again, similar to ChatGPT Canvas, now the AI writer will just update the post according to your suggestion. And what's cool is like I'm actually using Claude. So Claude doesn't have Canvas, right? That's a ChatGPT thing. There is no like kind of equivalent for that for Claude. But here, and I'm adding more models too, but here you can use Claude in that Canvas style interface. So now it reduced it from 5 steps to 3. And then what I personally like to do, my workflow, is I'll usually generate like 5 to 10 drafts. So let's say I'm working on this LinkedIn post. I'll try like different prompts, or like just give me a different angle altogether, or like research something that contradicts what is in this post. Like I'll create 5 to 10 variations for just this one post and then choose the one that I like best. And then I'll put my like finishing touches on that post. So let's say let's say this one is the one I like best. Like, I don't love this hook. I think it's okay. The second line is also okay too. So I would probably just like edit this. Want to create. So I'd probably do a new line here. Create like something like, don't miss out on this faceless trend, or whatever it is. But I like to put like my finishing touches, my experience, like my insights when it comes to viral POV videos. So for this in particular, I might put examples of like people using Blotato to make faceless videos. So here's one of the creators that I work with, for example. Oh no. Sometimes TikTok on the web thinks I'm like scraping it. So I get a CAPTCHA. Okay, so here. So like this is an example of a creator who uses Blotato for his viral video. So like this one, for example, it's almost at 500,000 views now, posted a week ago, made with Blotato. So I might take something like this and be like, you know, like, check this out or something, right? Make my edits to the post, make it mine, add my data, my insights. And then what I'll do, usually I will attach a media. So for something like this, I might attach the TikTok video itself, or like you can also generate an image because it has ideogram and stuff if you want a text image, or you can upload your own file or something like that. And then when I'm happy with this post, I kind of just go ahead and clone it to, for example, Twitter, and then Threads, and then Blue Sky as well. So here's Twitter, here's Threads. For Twitter, I have a subscription, so I actually can post things this long, right? But for example, for Threads, you'll need to break it up into threads. I don't know what else to call it, but you know, multi tweets in the thread. So you just click add here. And I'm going to automate this in the future because it's kind of annoying to copy and paste. But unfortunately, that is a manual thing you have to do at the moment. So here now your thread is ready to go, right? So we have your LinkedIn after you put your finishing touches, your Twitter, your Threads. You can clone this as well to other sources. I'm just using kind of those platforms as an example. And then when you're ready to publish it, you can publish it right now, or you can publish it in the future. So next free slot refers to like your calendar of content. So you can set up your whole calendar, like I'm going to publish every day on LinkedIn at 8 a.m. And then when you click next free slot, it's just going to go to the next open slot where you don't have any content scheduled. So what I usually do is I'll sit down on a Sunday and knock out all my posts for the week. And I just schedule next free slot. And it just goes out at the same times every week on those platforms. But yeah, I want to pause here and see if anybody has questions kind of on this part before we talk about faceless videos and stuff.
I just want to say, I thought I was using half of Blotato, but I'm only using about a quarter.
Okay, yeah. There's actually quite a lot more here, but I don't want to, you know, confuse anyone yet. So for example, you can add
late. You've already done it.
So like one neat thing is you can add multiple sources. So let's say you have a very controversial topic, such as, you know, the Ghibli studio. And like that was very controversial this past week, art, creativity, consent, compensation for the artists that all this amazing stuff is trained on. You could take two opposing viewpoints, like one super pro AI, blah, 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 we should be able to do that. And then the other one super like, no, like do not use AI for train. AI is going to destroy creativity. You could load both of these sources up here and then have a prompt that says, create like a pros versus cons of like, you know, back and forth argument type of post. So that's a fun one to do. You can also do things like fact check my post against sources from the internet. So that's a nice thing here because it's connected to the internet and you can connect it to these sources. So like, let's say I have a research paper that I'm trying to communicate in a beginner friendly way, but I don't want to lose things that are correct, that are like technically accurate, because then someone's gonna be like, well, that's not correct, blah, blah, blah for this. So then what I'll do is, you know, I'll have a prompt to kind of distill it into something beginner friendly, but then I'll ask it at the very end, fact check my post for inconsistencies or mistakes compared to the original sources, because I could have multiple PDFs loaded up here, multiple tutorials loaded up here, and that works pretty well. Like it'll be like you kind of fudge this, which could be acceptable, right? And so it's up to you to decide like what level of fuzziness are you willing to introduce without losing kind of like the main points and purpose of your post. So there are all kinds of fun things you can do. I have people who've loaded up like 10 different sources, and you can actually pre-process each of those sources. So let's say you have 10 YouTube videos for whatever reason. You can say like extract the top 10 controversial quotes from this video, or extract the section of this video where they talk about AI and real estate. And that way, like, instead of 10 hours of YouTube transcripts, it helps to kind of narrow down the information that AI is going to use to create your post. So yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do like that. And for those of you who haven't seen the slot schedule and calendar, it kind of looks like this, where you set up like how many times you're going to post on each platform, what times, and things like that. Once you do this, then when you create posts, you literally just schedule it in your next free time slots. And that's usually what I recommend, that people batch creating content maybe once a week and just batch it out for the rest of the week, so it's not overwhelming every single day.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
I'm seeing this and I'm trying to relate it to things that I've used in the past, although this looks like gargantuan leaps beyond it. So forgive my comparisons. But I'm used to like Plannable, Missing Letter, right? Those kinds of just schedulers. And I connect them to my website. I'm used to Descript, being able to take a video and break it down. But what I'm hearing from you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like this is all of that and more. I would create my posts and I can feed it from whatever source I connect it to, and then it will break apart my longer form content into chunks as I ask it to, and push it out.
Yeah, exactly. So I really built it for myself for exactly that use case. Like, I was getting to a point where, I had my own content. I wasn't even interested in repurposing other people's content. I just wanted to take my long form YouTubes, my podcasts, my newsletters, and just like chunk them into social media posts. And it's a huge thing for intermediate creators, because then you don't have to like come up with original fresh ideas every time you sit down, right? Like, you obviously work on your original ideas, but you can supplement it by repurposing content you've already made. Just add a fresh spin to it. So maybe I wrote something 6 months ago, but maybe my opinion has changed on it, right? So I could repurpose that with a different opinion, and then that's my content for the week. So yeah, you can. So for the Descript flow, for example, I have people feeding in podcasts or like videos, and it'll transcribe it, and then you can use that as the source for your posts.
Perfection. Okay.
I just wanted to confirm the different models that you have listed. Do you have to have a subscription to those, or through Blotato you get that?
Yeah, so I designed Blotato to be really flexible, because like what I kind of predict is what's happening is like companies are going to be leapfrogging each other all the time, right? If you asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said Ideogram is the absolute best for generating images with text. And now we have ChatGPT 4.0 and Ideogram isn't even close. So the way I designed Blotato is it's flexible. It already integrates with all of those APIs so that you don't have to get your own subscription. So it's a model router in that sense, if you guys have heard of that term. So on the text generation, it integrates with Claude, ChatGPT 03 and for technical content, and then ChatGPT 4.0 latest. On the image generation, I'm probably gonna miss some, but it integrates with a lot of different Flux models, like the open source one. So the cheapest Flux Chanel, all the way to Flux Pro Ultra, Ideogram. There's a lot. Luma. And then on the video model, it's like LTX, Minimax, Runway, Hunyan, Kling, Google VO. There's like 15 different AIs connected, and you don't have to subscribe to any of them. You just get to use them as part of Blotato.
I had a question, if I can jump in there. It's okay. All right. So my question is, with the integration as far as posting, can you hear me? Am I loud enough?
I can hear. I just turned you up. Yeah.
Okay. As far as publishing to, let's say you're publishing to a Facebook. So the rules stand as far as it being a professional or a business account in terms of where you can publish to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was my first question. The as you're talking, as I'm pretty sure everyone else here, my mind is just going and I'm processing. And so what I want to make sure I'm hearing correctly is this one workflow that I'm thinking of, and you can tell me if this would be applicable. So let's say I want to create thought-provoking articles on a daily basis for LinkedIn, and there are a couple of other YouTube channels out there who address some of these things, and maybe I want to comment, have some comments around whatever is addressed. So I can go to that YouTube channel, get that video, put that in, and maybe highlight some points there, and then create my content and publish it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a channel you like, I can plug it in right now just to kind of walk through the workflow. Yeah.
I don't know. Listen, my mind is I'm too foggy right now, full of AI to even.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly what you can do, and I really recommend it as well, especially if you don't have a massive content library yet. You know what I mean? And also, it is very interesting to like comment different perspectives on people's posts. Like, because I'm sure you have your unique perspective. I get your newsletters, by the way, Kimberly, amazing stuff. And so, it's about like continuing the conversation. It's not just about like taking what someone else said and like trying to pass it off as your own. So oftentimes, if I'm like heavily using something, I will just cite the source. Like, by the way, here's the full YouTube video to learn more about this. And it's pretty clear. Like, I'm just like summarizing it because I think it's cool. I think it's worth sharing. But if you want to learn more, listen to the full hour of discussion, like here's the link. And I think that works really well. Like, I think more people should just be transparent about that.
Yeah. Thank you.
You've got a couple who do want to see that use case. If anyone has a channel to plug in.
Yeah, because I plugged in mine, but if anyone else has like an example they want to see.
Just do yours.
Could we use yours, Sabrina, if someone doesn't have a recommendation, could just use yours?
Oh yeah, so that's kind of what I walked through earlier, so I can just show it again real quick. Okay, so I'm just pulling a video. Let's try like a different one. Yeah, maybe the future of education with AI or something. So this is an example of a podcast. So on YouTube, I also publish my podcasts on YouTube, which makes it super easy to grab. But let's say you don't, you can also upload an audio file up to 100 megs. The other use case I love here personally is like sometimes I just talk to myself to get all my thoughts out, and then I just upload it as an audio file. Another thing I've seen people do is if they have meetings where there's a lot of good discussion going on, and you, for example, like this one, you can feed it in here as an audio file and create content out of that discussion. Obviously, you'll need people's permission if you're recording the meeting, but like those are all different variations. So it doesn't have to be a YouTube video. It could literally be a 5-minute voice note from your iPhone, and you're just like driving and you're just spitting out ideas, and Blotato will automatically transcribe it and use it to create posts. And then, yeah, I'll also mention the other sources, so PDFs, TikTok videos. So for a lot of folks interested in AI education, I suggest repurposing my TikTok videos just as a starting point to kind of get the feel for it. YouTube videos, articles, and then any text as well. So any text that you can paste in. So if I put in this YouTube video here, so it's going to fetch the transcript. You can see it here. Right, so this is a pretty long one. And again, advanced settings, if you want to just summarize something or extract something, you can actually do that here. But let's not do that. And then, so I'll close all this so it's clean again. I'll delete these, okay? And so let's just start with like just a LinkedIn post. So I'm gonna click generate post. The model being used is Claude. And if you want to go to your prompts library where you can create and manage your prompts. And so here, this is literally in 5 seconds or so. But again, let's say you don't like that. Let's say you want like a longer type of essay. So this prompt write essay, a lot of people love this one. It's based on the writing style of Paul Graham, who's a well-known figure in tech. But a lot of people will replace all this with their own text, like their voice. So it sounds very much like them. But let's say we use that prompt to generate. So now it's going to create a second version. And so you can always toggle back and forth. Like this is the first version, and then the second one. This will take a little bit longer because it's going to write a longer kind of post. So yeah, so really long, a little long for LinkedIn, but again, you can ask this to shorten it by 20%, right? So if I'm like shorten the post by, it's not going to be exactly 20%, but it'll do its best while preserving the structure of the post. So that's pretty much the flow. And then in terms of what prompts to use, you can add your own prompts. So I have a guide here in the help section, like how to make the output sound more like you, just some tips and tricks to like modify the prompts. It's pretty straightforward. The prompts just look really long because of the examples in there, like writing style, but like you can change all this. The most important thing is this example. So if you change these examples, like it's going to make a huge difference in how the output is structured. So that's what I recommend people start with when they're customizing their prompts. And these are all the ones you get just for free as part of just signing up. But you can always add your own prompts. You can duplicate these and make your own version. So you get a lot of like versatility in the writing style. Okay, yeah. Any questions on this?
I have a question on the data that's going in it.
Mhm.
Does that all get sucked into a public model then to be processed?
When you say,
For example, a lot of organizations don't want their data to be run through ChatGPT because it's private organizational data.
Mhm.
So if we have some of that data and wanted to generate some social posts out of it, so some like images, videos, writing data, and we wanted to generate our social media content out of that, but we don't want that block of information to be out there getting processed with the rest of the world's information in a ChatGPT,
Mhm.
for example. Is there a way to do that with Blotato, or is it all sort of publicly accessible now that I've done this?
So I have enterprise accounts with all of these providers, which means that the data I send them cannot be used for model training purposes. However, the data is still sent to them. So depending on your company, like your company may not even allow data to leave the system like that. So I just want to make that distinction. But the sources you upload will not be used for model training. And that's because I'm on the enterprise plan for each of these providers, which ensure that, yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, if you're using ChatGPT for free, yeah, all of your data is
Yeah, it's just all out there in the ether. I keep telling it like, oh, I'm so sad today.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess the world doesn't. I don't care if the world knows I was sad yesterday, but at the same time, that's different than like corporate data or something
Mhm.
like that.
And then someone's
Okay,
asking, can it add a picture for the post? So I can show that real quick as well. Let me just share my screen again. So
And
here,
Vicky, while she's doing that, I might ask you the question. Has anyone at the Salon explored that private public data containerizing of AI? And
You
would
know
ever
what?
anyone have any information I could run down?
That would be a good thing for the ethics club. We could look at that in there. I don't think there is anything currently out there in the salon, but yeah, we can definitely look at that.
Okay, thanks. And I don't want to take any more time. Thanks,
No
Sabrina.
questions.
okay, no worries. Yeah, so here I was just creating like a draft image real quick. So when you click add media, you can upload your own image or video. You can generate an AI video. You can generate a realistic image, which uses a model called Recraft that is trained on like hyper realistic photos, basically. Best for text uses ideogram. Creative image uses Flux Pro. And here on the right side, one thing I like to do is just like come up with a simple AI image prompt related to the post, right? This can help you just like brainstorm real quick. So let's say we want to change this picture. Let's say we want like a realistic photo. So here I'm going to paste in, oh, I forgot to copy paste the prompt. I'm going to paste in this prompt that ChatGPT gave us over here. I'm going to turn magic prompt off. So this attempts to like analyze your post and generate an image prompt, but usually people want like a little more control of what the image prompt exactly is. So here I'll click regenerate. And then it'll take a few moments to actually generate the image, but you'll see that this style is more photorealistic because it uses this particular model. Whereas if I want something like, let's say it's a big chalkboard with a bunch of text, I'd probably use something like Best for Text, like ideogram. And then, yeah, let's say you like this one, you can use this one, or you can,
I like that picture.
yeah, it was pretty nice. Yeah, I was surprised it actually generated some of these things. Usually Recraft doesn't, but yeah. So let me just check the other questions. Can you make those?
Trudy's had her hand raised for a little bit too.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't see the hand raised.
Hi, Sabrina.
Thanks.
Question about your green screen videos that you do a lot of. What's the workflow to use Blotato with those? If you can kind of walk through that.
Yeah, so let me actually grab a YouTube video that walks through that. So here, I'll drop it in the chat.
Okay, perfect.
So I updated like my TikTok and Instagram playbooks for 2025, and it talks about kind of green screen effects, creator search insights, that kind of thing, in addition to my 2024 playbook that has kind of the step-by-step process. But yeah, so my typical workflow for, let's clear this again, for creating a TikTok video. So let's say like I'm looking up some AI news. Oh, that's kind of big news. So I can either use Perplexity within Blotato to actually like research news. So here you can do something like this, like research like trending AI news from the past 48 hours. That's a really fun one. And that gives me like a lot of ideas and stuff. Or if I just want to make, if I use the same YouTube video and I just want to make a TikTok script to share it, I'll do TikTok. It will generate a TikTok script. And then there's another prompt I like to use to generate hooks. So here, okay, so here's my TikTok scripts. And then there's another prompt I like to use for here. Yeah, brainstorm short video hooks, this one. So I like to use both of these because it gives me a lot of ideas for viral hooks. This particular prompt is trained on like hundreds of viral hooks I curated from TikTok and Instagram. And some of them are cheesy, right? But the hook is so important. Like you're competing with basically brain rot videos on TikTok and Instagram. Like it's pretty hard to stand out with education content. And so the hook is really, really important to like stop the scroll and like get someone's attention. So I use this to just brainstorm all kinds of hooks. This is a good one. This proves why AI will never fully replace teachers in the classroom. Like that's a strong opinion. And that's a great hook especially to just like get conversation going, pique interest. This is, a very common hook, a little scammy, but it is a hook that works really well. This is a good one too. Like, why doesn't anyone talk about this? Right. That's a great. So I love this just to like quickly brainstorm lots of different hooks. And the way it's structured, like these numbers, it refers to the example hook that it was inspired by. And then these lines kind of go together. So I kind of brainstorms like that first 10 to 15 seconds of speaking. And then the last line is usually a CTA, because for my videos, I've noticed it works really well if I say, but first, save this video or hit follow, like something like that. So I like to do that to generate lots of hook ideas. And then something like this, so I put in like my YouTube and it generates a TikTok script. I usually just will literally have my phone like right here, sometimes on a selfie stick, and then just have this in the background and riff off of it. So I'll say the hook that I like. So for example, like let's say I like this hook, I will just copy paste it here, right? So like that, and then I will usually I read the hook exactly because like it's so important. Like that first 2 sentences makes or breaks your video, and then the rest of the video I will just like riff off of it because I'm pretty comfortable doing that. So for TikTok, like I use Blotato for kind of like the copywriting aspect of it, like writing the hook, giving me lots of ideas of viral hooks because it's already trained on that, and then writing scripts really quickly that I can just riff off of.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Diana also has a hand up.
Hi. So, full confession,
I was caught in traffic. So you may have answered some of these questions, you may have shown some of these things, but what really interests me about this is, so it looks to me like it's like a chat GPT / Copilot. It's kind of like that a little bit. So it's just another engine that operates like them.
So I definitely designed the remix screen similar to like ChatGPT Canvas. Like that's why it's kind of laid. Like the idea is to focus on one of these things and then like finalize it and then post it out to social media. I would say one way it's different though is by being able to add like all of these different sources. So I demoed it a little bit earlier, but for example, you can put in like a YouTube video, it'll grab the transcripts and then use that to generate your post, which is something like you can't do that with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Okay? It'll just be like, I don't know what's in the YouTube video. You can even put TikTok videos, like podcasts, meetings, audio files, that kind of thing.
So the reason I'm asking is because this is really interesting to me because I do teach online. So, but I'm teaching kids math and reading and stuff like this, and sometimes other subjects. So it's kind of nice to extrapolate from different videos because sometimes I use information from different YouTube videos. I'll link, a science or some kind of math idea, to teach a concept. But the other thing that I also really like about this is I have my own store. And you mentioned briefly something about ads, like automating some kind of like running some ads, or there's something you said that immediately sparked my attention. And one of the things, being someone who works full time and trying to have a side hustle, is time to you sit down and create something. Like I usually use Canva. I use anything I possibly can to shove it out to my Instagram and to my Facebook and to, all of those things. But did you say that this can do it for you?
Yeah, so this schedules to all of the major social platforms as well. So if I click publish, for example, I need to add an image or video for TikTok, but let me just clone it to Facebook real quick. So let's say this is a Facebook post. You can publish now on your next free calendar slot, or you pick a time. So for me and a lot of other users, we usually like batch. Let's say we sit down 1 week, 3 hours uninterrupted. That's your precious time to make content. In 3 hours, you can easily knock out a week's worth of content. And I'm talking about like at least 50 pieces of content on the lower side of things. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you're creating the content first and then scheduling through this platform when you're sending these out through your social platforms.
Yeah. And you can see your published posts here and like refer back to them. So, on a lot of platforms, it's like hard to search for what you previously posted about for some reason. But here it's like all in one place. So let's say like you search posts where you talk about, let's say infographics, just because I saw it there, right? So like, oh, okay, that's where I talked about it. Now I can just like open this and be like, should I repurpose this, right? Like maybe this did really well. And I'm like, I'm just going to do another spin on this post, So there's all kinds of like neat things like that. And on the calendar, you can set up your slot schedule for the week.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. So it looks a little bit different for everybody. Obviously, if you're new to content creation, like don't try to post everywhere all at once on your first week. Just start with one platform, then add 2 or 3. For me, my repurposing flow is on Saturdays, I make an original YouTube video. Then I repurpose it to a newsletter and social posts and a TikTok video. And then on Sundays, when I sit down, I write my LinkedIn posts. And those I basically cross post to Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, and sometimes Instagram as well. So if you think of just about the numbers, like from taking one but now you get 5 pieces of content. Like it's kind of a no-brainer for someone to just do that. Like for a lot of people ask me, like, does that work? For example, my Instagram is 100% identical to my TikTok videos. It's just different audiences. Like if you ask my closest friends, none of them use TikTok. They're all on Instagram. I don't know why, but that's just where they are. And so even though it's the exact same video, You know, it's
Wherever
totally
you can
fine.
reach them.
Yeah,
Sometimes even Facebook. You know, there's a lot of Facebookers out there
oh
that
yeah.
you know are used to Facebook. They're not really ready to go and transition into different things. But here's my next question, because I don't want to take up more time. Can you write your own program through this like a Chat GPT? So I know that I'm learning a little bit about how to create my own Chat GPT. So I'm wondering if you can program your own little something that like I don't know if
Do you mean
that's
like a
possible.
custom GPT or?
Yeah, yeah. Can you
Oh,
do
okay.
that?
So you can't do it within here, but what you can do, for example, I have a lot of folks who just use the API. So the
Okay.
API allows you to publish to all the platforms in your Zapier, Make.com, or N8N automation. So I'll try to, let me pull one up here that has like that diagram. Yeah. So what some people do here is they will call their OpenAI assistant, which it's basically a custom GPT, but an assistant is available externally outside of ChatGPT. So you can
Okay.
have so you can have an automation or a separate product call your OpenAI assistants like here. Yeah.
And it'll save whatever you're doing
Mhm.
anyway. So of course you can recall, this is what I want to do again, and there's room for modification, obviously, once you do it on Blotato.
Yeah, and there are some blueprints here as well to get started with that. Not everything is exposed through the API, so things like sources and remixing is not exposed. So the API right now is mostly just for publishing content to all the platforms. But let's say you have a custom GPT, you take all the knowledge and documents that you loaded into it, you just load it into an assistant. Like the interface is pretty similar. You just like load it and tell it, you know, what your instructions, and then you can call it through one of these little modules. So it'll write just like your custom GPT would. And then you can publish it out to multiple social platforms with Blotato.
This is excellent. Of course, in the chat, as you're noticing, we all want your stuff.
Oh.
So hopefully you can kind of give us here's my stuff if you want it, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I actually have I've been trying to for those of you guys who aren't subscribed to my newsletter yet. Oh no, I'm not logged in.
But thank you. I just thought I'd say that for others, just in case but I'm done, and thank you so much for answering my questions.
Yeah, no worries. And yeah, if you're not subscribed to my newsletter already, you do get like a lot of free stuff. This is just a sample of it that I tried to organize. So stuff related to ChatGPT, content creation, AI automations, AI coding, AI agents, and it's all for free. So all of my AI education is for free. So yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about Faceless video creation. And then someone asked the subscription price. So it's $29 per month for the starter plan, which is what I recommend for most folks. And then let me just pull up my window again. Okay. So yeah, within Blotato, you can also make faceless videos like this, for example. I don't know if you guys have seen this on TikTok or Reels, where it's like a POV type of video, or even animal dancing videos, that kind of thing. So let me just go back here. So if you go to videos, you can choose an existing viral template, which doesn't cost any credits, but you can see like exactly what prompts were used and stuff. So here, let me turn down the volume. Okay. So here, this is actually showcasing what I call like continuous storytelling. So for those of you kind of familiar with image video generation, just look at the continuity of the scenes. It's really loud. What it's doing is extending each scene so that everything like looks continuous, the world looks continuous and things like that, instead of image separate image. This template showcasing how to make something like that. These green tracks over here are your images. This one are your video clips. And then this one here is sound, which you can upload audio effects and stuff. So when you click on an image, you can see like what prompt exactly was used to generate the image, which model was used. In this case, it was 1.1 Pro. But here's the list of image models that you also have access to. So Recraft, Ideogram, and Photon. And then when you click on a video clip, you can see also exactly what prompt was used for this animation. And then also you have the list of image to video models here. So LTX, Kling. Oh, I just added V1.6 Kling, so that's brand new. Luma, Runway, Minimax, Minimax Director is one of my favorites. Hunyan, and then Google VO2 is honestly by far the best, but it's super, super expensive, so I don't actually recommend anybody use it. But yeah, so that was one example of a video. Let me do like this. This one is like, you know, kids dressed up in a runway. This kind of thing goes viral, so I just wanted to showcase like what it would actually look like to make this. So let's go back here, click on the green. You can see exactly the prompt that was used. Let's say you want to make your own variation, so just copy paste this, or you can just tweak this as it is and then generate the image. Once you're happy with the image, then you animate it into a video clip. That's the typical process of how it works. And then here is the again, the model that was used and the prompt that was used. So, and the other feature I just added for those of you like familiar with this stuff is first frame and last frame. So now if you have two images, like the starting image and the last image, you can animate the scene to go from the start to the last image. So it's really nice, again, if you want kind of like a lot more control over what the animation actually does. And yeah, you can do all kinds of things. So you can add text titles, captions. It also has royalty-free images. So like you don't even have to make AI images. You can just use all of the stock footage, right? You can upload your own. Same for video. There's a lot of like images and videos that I'm constantly adding. So here. And then basically when you're ready to export it, you just click export, and then you have the option to download it or publish it directly to socials. And let me showcase one more that I really like. So you can also just start from a script, by the way, I forgot to mention that. So here you can just input your script. It supports 30 different languages for video, meaning the AI voiceover uses 11 labs and it's multilingual. So if you put a script in Russian, it will generate the AI voiceover in Russian. So here you can generate it with AI or input your own scripts or choose one of these themes. So let's see if we do like sure, let's just do a person walking in the forest. Let's do like, and then this will just be probably one shot. Yeah, because it's such a short script, but you can put longer scripts. So I've had people export like 40-minute videos. It's kind of crazy, but there's no limit on the actual video itself. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay. So it turns out this way because of like the particular theme I chose. And then to generate your AI voiceover, just click the caption and you have like your full list of 11 Labs voices here. You can even upload your own 11 Labs voice. Okay, so if you have an 11 Labs account, just plug in your API key and you can use your own voice. And let's say you want to use this one, generate the voiceover, it'll generate it. You can preview the entire video. So here, align with the captions. Let me just play from the start. And you can see it's just an image, right? I haven't animated it. So to animate it, you go here and then click create animated image. The only thing is it takes a while. It takes like 4 minutes. So if you're used to this stuff, like, you know, but if you're not used to it, yeah, that is one of the frustrating things is it does take like 5 minutes. So we can check back in. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions on faceless video generation. Okay, let me
everybody.
So someone is saying 11 Labs is, yeah, so you don't have to even integrate with 11 Labs because like I just offer it as part of the platform. And then, yeah, for the voiceover, Diana's asking, so the text output supports 58 languages. So, and then the video supports, I think it was 30 something languages. And then when you input your script, it'll just analyze what language your script is in and generate an AI voice speaking that language. Obviously, it's going to work best, that AI voice, for the major, most common languages, but it still supports like 30 other languages. Okay. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show, I showed this earlier, but like, you know, a lot of people get hung up on like the credits for videos and like having to use the best models. But like this influencer I work with, yeah, a lot of these were made with, this is 250,000 views. These were made with the cheapest image model called Flux Schnell, which only costs 1 credit. And so it's pretty amazing. But his process is like, he'll generate 10 images for the scene and then choose the one he likes the best and like keep tweaking it until he likes it. And so that's his creative process. And he's not really burning a lot of credits because he's using the cheapest possible AI model. So just wanted to point that out. Like if you are worried about like credits and costs and things like that, that you can totally go viral with the cheapest AI image model. So
I have a
Jen.
question about cost. I've got my hand raised, but if anyone else wants to go first. Yeah, I wanted to get my head around credits, because do you have to pay credits to your people when people generate images? Like, are there variable costs you have to consider that you might get like a huge bill that you didn't expect? Or are these only credits where you're keeping your credit transaction with the AI companies down because you're limiting how we use it, so we're not burning a lot of your credit? Like, how does that?
Currently the second one.
I don't understand how it all works yet. So anything you can tell me would be helpful.
Yeah. So it's currently the second model where each plan gets a set number of credits as part of the plan, and then you can always purchase additional credits. I believe it's like $6 for 1,000 additional credits. Although I am reworking some of this because I'd love to be able to offer more credits. It's tough. Like one of my biggest challenges right now is like there are people who just want to use Blotato for the video generation and like don't care that much about the other features right now. And then there are people who want to use the remix and the video generation. So I'm trying to figure out like a pricing model that would be able to accommodate for both of those. But right now this is the pricing model, so that the credits are just included as part of the plan. So it's like baked into your plan cost.
Okay. And then how do you cover that? Like, have you ever been surprised? Like, oops, I owe a lot more than I thought? Or like, do you have those variable costs that you pay to your providers?
So it's already baked into the plan. So even if you used all of the credits, like it's still profitable for me. You know what I mean? Like to run it. So I don't have any investor funding, so I can't afford to run it unprofitably forever.
Yeah.
So
because I'm starting to think about getting a model out there, and I don't know how to even start to address, well, when people start to play with it, I may start to owe people credits. And I like you have done, I just want to make sure I know what I'm doing before I publish anything out there.
Yeah, so I've run like basically in my backend system, I take all of the API providers and look at their cost per unit, and then I map it to my model. So like, what does 1 credit mean for me? 1 credit for me might be like 3 credits on OneRay or 5 credits on Kling. So it's super confusing, but basically I just structured it so that you get X number of credits, and like that's what's a lot. It's a percentage of the monthly payment you're making, so that way it's never over the monthly payment. So one model is like you get X credits per month, and then if you do want to use more than that, either buy a credit pack or bill the user for the overage. So like let's say like it's 50 cents per minute of video or whatever it is beyond their allotted plan for the month.
Cool, thanks.
One of the most impressive things that I've heard Sabrina say previously to this meeting is that someone said that she should charge much more for this product. She says, I want to.
Yeah, I mean, my mission is actually to empower as many creators as possible. My background's in tech, as some of you know, previously sold an AI company. But it wasn't until I started creating content myself that I realized like content creation as a path to like financial freedom and flexibility and time freedom. It really is amazing. Like all the inbound opportunities I get, people ask me stuff all the time, and I want more people to be able to experience that and also to share their education with the world. I have some users, for example, in healthcare, where they're sharing education about how to take care of your health and your body and how to deal with different chronic illnesses. And I'm like, that's amazing. I want more of that on TikTok and Instagram. Like, how do I help that kind of creator who is incredibly knowledgeable in healthcare, but not necessarily knowledgeable in like social media? So I kind of built Blotato to take away a lot of that confusion and overwhelm. Like, that's what I kept hearing from people. It's overwhelming. Like, where do you start? How do you succeed? And actually, another resource I should point out is like on my help website, I invest a lot in like different guides. So what I was mentioning earlier, like LinkedIn, I have a whole best practices playbook for LinkedIn, YouTube tutorial. What should you do if you're less than 20,000 followers, posting frequency, general tips, common mistakes, how to repurpose LinkedIn posts. So once you've got your schedule down, then you want to think about, hey, how do I multiply my output to different platforms? For TikTok, if you have a brand new account, making sure you're warming it up properly, or else you'll just be shadow banned. Best practices. This one's really long because it applies to both TikTok and Instagram. And so just a lot of guides like this to help people like just figure out what to do. This is kind of a summary, I guess, of the different platforms, like my top 2 tips for each platform and the maximum number of times you want to post on each platform. So like just guides like this to just help people feel less overwhelmed. Because like I talk to lots of creators, I watch a lot of content to like learn how to make content, and I've also paid for courses here and there just out of curiosity to like see what people are teaching, and I try to consolidate like the most useful aspects of that learning into these guides so that you don't have to question like, am I doing it right? Like why isn't it working? Because I know it's very overwhelming in the beginning.
Do you do consulting? Because I have a pole fitness practice that I'm trying to help ladies my age get more flexible and not be afraid of the pole. And it's really, really fun. So fun. I have a year's worth of me learning pole, and now I'm doing like 6 weeks of like a specific 6-week intro to pole. Just it's online and you can go to a pole studio, but like I'm generating all this content. This is just a miracle that you're literally touching on everything that's causing me heartburn in Blotato.
No.
But I feel like as I'm new, I want to consult with you. Like, do you do that?
I
Do you
don't.
help creators or anything? Because I'm literally diving in right now to be a creator.
I would recommend joining. I do weekly office hours for Blotato, and it's pretty similar to this. So I obviously recognize some faces here. So I just dropped the link in the chat, and that's included in every plan. And it's just a nice time for folks to drop by, ask questions and stuff. And if you can't make that, I am available every day. So just through my support widget, I'll just show you guys how to reach me. Over here. Oh, made it. Okay, so here on the bottom right, you can always send me a message, and I go through all of these messages every single day. But I personally don't do any consulting, coaching, speaking, or anything like that. So
you're like, I'm good. Well, I can't wait to watch your videos and get inspired.
Someone did ask earlier if they could attend your office hours if they do not currently subscribe to Blotato.
I mean, it's meant for subscribers, but would I notice? Probably not, like, so.
Cool. We're coming up on the hour.
Thank you so much. I've been following you since I think maybe September, August, and you're awesome.
Oh, thanks, Ray. Yeah, happy to answer any other questions. If anyone has any, feel free to jump in.
I have one if anyone else has one. Oops, my camera. Hi. Sabrina, I noticed that sometimes when I'm using the assistant, on the bottom, right? That it's not changing the actual text. It's just like it's like they're not talking to each other. So I'm making the changes, I'm giving it information, and then the actual output isn't changing. Is that something that I send you like screenshots or something of?
Yeah, I think so. There is I have an algorithm to try to detect, should this be like a brainstorming research thing, so it should stay in the chat versus should it edit the post.
So should I tell it edit post then? Maybe I need to tell it edit the post?
Yeah, if you're explicit, it should do it, but yeah, but I am trying to improve that. So if you could send me examples, that would be great, so I could just teach it, you know, if you see this, then edit the post versus if you see this, then brainstorm. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah. And I did totally forget about this feature, which is pretty cool, but I totally forgot about it. It's called the inspiration database. And it's basically like, I think 1 million tweets, and then I'm adding 500,000 LinkedIn posts to this. And you can basically just like search different topics, different creators. So I'm just starting it from a blank screen, right? But let's say I want to search, if you guys know like Justin Welsh, he's a big creator on LinkedIn and Twitter. Hang on, let me spell his name correctly. Okay. And then, so now you'll see all of his posts, but let's say you want his most viral posts. So you can filter by likes over 1,000. And let's say you want it like narrowed down to a different topic, like just say productivity, right? So keyword productivity. So this will take like all of Justin Welch's posts, find the ones with likes above a certain range that mention this keyword. And there's all types of other, criteria as well. How many shares, how many followers. And then what you can do is like view the original post or remix it into your own version. So like here, if I click remix, then it will be added as a source for your content. So like if this was actually blank, so it would look like this. So now I'm going to remix Justin Welsh's post into my own tweet, right? And so it's kind of an inspiration database for you to just constantly get different ideas for things that other top creators are saying and writing about, right? So that's here in the inspiration. And this is included in all plans, unlimited and everything. So yeah. But yeah, just another resource if you're feeling like stuck, like you don't know what to write about. You could search for your favorite creator or search by different topics and see what other people are writing about.
I have a question on that one, Sabrina. Yeah. If I change the time range to anything less than all time, I get no posts found with no other.
Oh yeah, that is a bug. So when I originally pulled the post from Twitter, I didn't pull the timestamp. Okay. But yeah, definitely all of this is within the past year. Because like I don't see a point in like retrieving posts like before that time period. But yeah, right. that is a bug. So I apologize for that.
That's okay. I wasn't sure if it was like, live updating from Twitter or like how it was working. So that's why.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. So I pay for the Twitter developer API, like the premium level, and that lets you extract I think 1 million tweets per month. And so it's not like daily, but I'll do it on a monthly basis. And then LinkedIn is kind of as needed. So I have 500,000 LinkedIn posts lying around. I just need to load them into the database. It's kind of just been pushed back.
No problem.
Okay, yeah. Any other questions?
We are very grateful to have had you here for this time. I think everyone's learned a lot. I know my head's blown and like I thought I knew a lot and I obviously don't. So, and I come to the office hours as well. So yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me.
That's all, folks.